Commentary on Revelation 12, 1 to 6. Revelation 12 opens with a symbolic vision, rich in imagery, unveiling the transition of covenantal history and the unveiling of a new order. Verse 1. The woman clothed with the sun. The great sign in heaven introduces a woman clothed with the sun, the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars. This imagery draws directly from Joseph's dream, Genesis 37, where the sun, moon, and stars represented the family of Israel. The woman, therefore, signifies covenant Israel, the corporate people through whom promise and purpose were carried. Her being clothed with the sun speaks of divine favor and covenantal glory, not inherent righteousness, but a bestowed identity rooted in promise. The 12 stars reflect the fullness of the tribes, the totality of Israel as the vessel of redemptive history. Verse 2. Travail and birth. The woman is in labor, crying out in birth pains. This reflects the prophetic expectation of Israel awaiting fulfillment, the long anticipation of the promised seed. The travail is not merely physical imagery, but represents the tension of old covenant expectation pressing toward fulfillment. This is the culmination of prophetic hope, the bringing forth of what had been promised from the beginning. Verse 3. The great red dragon. The red dragon appears as another sign, identified later as Satan. His 7 heads and 10 horns symbolize authority and dominion expressed through earthly systems, particularly the persecuting power operating through Rome and apostate leadership. The dragon's presence before the woman shows opposition to the fulfillment of promise. Yet this opposition is reactive, not sovereign. It does not initiate, only resists. Verse 4. The attempted devouring. The dragon seeks to devour the child as soon as it is born. This reflects historical attempts to destroy the promised Messiah, from Herod's slaughter of infants to continual resistance against the unfolding of redemption. The sweeping of a third of the stars suggests the influence of deception and rebellion within the covenant community, many led astray under the weight of the old system's collapse. Verse 5. The male child. The woman brings forth a male child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. This is a clear reference to Christ, Psalm 2. However, the focus here is not on his earthly life, but on his victorious enthroning. The child being caught up to God and to his throne compresses the finished work, death, resurrection, and ascension, into a single victorious movement. This emphasizes completion, not process. The authority to rule is not future, but established. Dominion is not pending, it is realized. Verse 6. The woman in the wilderness. The woman flees into the wilderness, where she is nourished for 1,260 days. This period corresponds to the time leading up to the destruction of Jerusalem in AD 70, a time of transition between covenants. The wilderness represents separation from the old system and preservation during its judgment. It is not abandonment, but protection. The nourishing indicates divine provision as the old order fades and the new reality is fully revealed. Summary, insight. This passage is not a prediction of distant future events, but a symbolic retelling of the climactic shift from the Old Covenant world to its fulfillment and conclusion. The woman represents covenant Israel, bringing forth fulfillment. The child represents the completed, enthroned Christ. The dragon represents opposition through earthly systems. The wilderness represents the transitional period before the old systems end. The emphasis throughout is on completion, victory, and transition, not anticipation. The work is finished, the authority established, and the old order passing away as the new stands fully revealed.